Morihei Ueshiba.
All right. Good. Oh, we're just. Just a little bit of a shoulder, just rotating front and back or in closing. Also play a little bit with the hips as well, so keeping the bounce going. Place the body can be quite big or quite small. Just play within a upper range. Just start to bring a very subtle bend forwards. And opening that. Oh, I wish to take a nice deep breath in. Just burn the neck. Down. Oh, just got one more time. And we just take it up and up to the sides. Good. And a little bit back, a little bit of a pause at the back. Nice of come to neutral center. Breath if you do it. And then just bring the elbows up a little bit sharper in front. Just with the arm back there. Think about creating a bit of length down the arm with this one. And now what I want to do is just take this into more of a like a bow pull. Soon as doing archery at the moment, which is very distracting. But just think about pulling across the elbow and the hand. So, and as you go through it, just to kind of activate the arms as well, just play with the hand. So you could do obviously grip and pull and extend. Just experiment a little bit with the hand position as you do it. A really nice one also, just to play with the torsion and direction. And just start to play with a little bit of spiral work as well. You could do it all kind of laterally across. And just allow yourself to be guided by the body. And you just allow the spine to maybe flex a little bit, flex and bend through it. And also working the leg a little bit as well. So with that full opening, you just play with a little bit spiral down, spiral up. And that bow kind of shape, just to really play with an expansion across the back, really. And that bow pull's just a nice one to explore in a quite natural position, natural functional position for the body. So great. Great. Good. And I'm just going to a bit of work. Just and as you're going to get, just expand it a little bit. Also play with the head looking around. Kind of oscillating the whole body through it. In the direction. Okay, and towards the knees, just 5 cycles. And the other way. And same, it's a little bit wider, circling one way. And also roll the shoulders in it as well, so the body. Again, start taking a little bit deeper. And then change direction. And just place the hand behind the knee. We're just going to like squat down. So just be careful with the hand, but choosing it with a bit of pressure with the knee. And then keep that position if you can, just lengthening back up. Also pull the toes out, activate the shins. So, and falling forwards again. And squat. And then working back. And one more time. And lengthening back. Now just taking the leg back, so on the train track, back to facing forwards, drawing the heel down to the ground. Okay. And again, going a little bit lower, taking the heel off the ground. Easy over. Good, going up a little bit wider. And just going to a little bit of a hinge through. Thinking about lengthening the backside of the legs. You do it with a little bit of a knee bend, or you could fully lengthen the back of the legs. And then just like that, let the body twist towards one leg or turn towards one leg. Just a little bit deeper into the hip. Right. And then just start to reach the hands through. So just kind of wrap the front and back of the legs. And play also now using that, just a very light grip on the shin. And just using it to draw the body a little bit, so very gently, not pulling the body, just a little bit of the grip, so a little bit deeper. And then just play one again, just to kind of lengthen and go down the ankle with the opposite hand. And just let the hip side this way, and again, just to open up the body this way. So I'm kind of spreading open this way, and as you come up the other way, so it'll be the opposite hand reaching the ankle. And then just opening up, just to feel that you're opening up the rest of the spine, like you would do a windmill really, but just with the hands on the ankle and hips. And then just go into more of a windmill position if it's comfortable. Just open up the hand at the back for motion. And lift them out of it. And you could stay within it and kind of pulse a little bit in and out of it to open it, or you could switch and alternate. Whatever feels comfortable really. Just open it that back. Feel that you're opening up from the spine rather than from the arm, kind of pushing the body out. Good. And then just coming back, resting on the hands on the legs. Just think about dropping down a little bit, spreading feet, and I would just play with a little bit of an activation in, like drawing the legs in, and a little bit of an activation out, and just playing within that range. So you could also play with shifting a little bit of weight. We'll just do one which is even, like push, pulling in, a little bit spreading away. Feel it. You can also play with the feet as well, the position of the feet. Feel that the knees are still aligned towards the toes. And again, just play with a little bit of a gentle pull in, a little bit of gentle press out. And just play with the spine on top, reasonably neutral. Arms reasonably relaxed. And then just play with a little bit of a side to side shift. And again, I just play a little bit kind of a pull motion with the hips. It's a little bit different than doing that and then the hips. And just wobbling. Just think about drawing a little bit. Drawing, and just really working the underside of the legs, the under arch of the legs, and the thighs. And then just those are to slightly rotate into it as well, so looking towards the foot, the lengthened foot. So you've got a side to side motion, but you've also got a little bit of a rotation as well. And again, just bringing the hands into it, you could also trace a bit down the legs. You could use the ground. And involve the shoulders with it as well. So the exercise we do, where you're kind of looking over the shoulders, very similar. Just doing it now with the road going a little bit further into one leg. And obviously you'll lengthen through that leg as well. And then if it feels comfortable, just start to take the toes up off the ground. Whoop-a, and you're not going to go around. There we go. And again, just play with, again, a little bit of rotation into it as well. So there's a kind of pull and pressure. Splitting the body as well, a little bit. In a healthy way. And then just play less with just kind of fully coming up and fully coming into it. And again, just go to the one that's comfortable. If it's the toes up, go to that one. But it would be like coming down. This one, just kind of raise the back heel. Just give a little bit of motion with it. Come up and then fully come down into it. And again, play with also rotation, which you've got. Also, you could do this just as a kind of lateral motion. And then use the hand switch you need to. But fully going down, fully coming up. Fully going down, fully coming up. And use the kind of neutral position as well. And if you need to shake out the hips a little bit as you're doing it. So just play with a full coming up, coming down. So kind of standing up to watch this. Just play with this one. So it's like you come down and then pull the whole body up, back up to neutral. Shake out the hips a little bit, or if you need to, and then come back down, and then come back up. Come all the way down. Come all the way back up. Use the hand smash you need to as well, and go to a position that's comfortable. So it doesn't mean going all the way down. It means going down as far as comfortable, and then coming up. So it could just be that, and then coming up. That, and then coming up if you can, or if it feels comfortable, go to the full Cossack squat, more like a Cossack squat. That's it. And then the key part's also the neutral part, bringing the body back to neutral. Yeah. Yeah, we go. Good. And it's the same one. We'll just play with that with a lunge position, and just playing with bringing the knee down. So I'm not going to touch the ground, just for obvious reasons in this case, but just play with this. It got this way. Go long and go narrow with this one. So a narrow squat would be just kind of coming down into this position and sitting down. It's like a what do you call this one? It's like an archer squat or a hunter squat. It's one that you would use if I've got a bow, an arrow, and I'm just kind of using this way. So it's a classic kind of squat that you find a lot in primitive cultures as well. It's very like low and narrow squat. And also play with a little bit of a wider one as well, just bringing the knees down. And then just playing within rotations within the hip as well. So again, you could do it as just a basic up and down kind of squat pattern, but also just involve a little bit more of the body, play with a little bit of rotation through it as well, and then you're spiraling through the legs, down through the shoulders, and you're unraveling as you come back up as well. So it allows yourself to come to neutral each time. As the neutral position is just as important as the more active position, really. And how you get back to neutral is obviously a major part of the training as well. So if you think about kata work, we'll go into a little bit of kata work with the Joe. Just think about that drawing back to neutral, in a position we do a lot in training. And then when you're ready, just grab a Joe and we'll just do the same motion, just go into that same motion with the Joe and just include the Joe with it. So you could do a few things with it, but I'm just going to basically include the Joe in it. It could be switching hands with it, just kind of basic, just doing it with the Joe. If I wasn't outside, well, I could do it anyway, but it would be, you could also play with placing the Joe down and putting it back up. But just play with the Joe basically, but just including it down. And if you think about quite very natural motions would be things like coming down and putting down, getting low, coming back to neutral. And just play with that squat work. And just basically choose a direction. So what I could do is just start to take it a little bit more into kind of stepping out, and then draw into the leg as well. So when you do this one now with the Joe, step out, draw the body into a kind of a low position, and then draw the body to that foot that you've stepped out with. So it's like a step out drill would be like down, and then draw the body to it, and just allow the feet to kind of gently come together. At that point, then allows you to come to neutral each time. You're stepping out, drawing the legs together, and the direction is done by the leg that's kind of stepping out. So let the body go towards it, and it doesn't have to be so deep. Could be then just a kind of more engaged kind of walk. And just to include the Joe with it. Right. And then as you're doing that, just give the hands something to do. Just play with the kind of feeding through the 𝗓 as well. So if you think about ski work or you think about any kind of positional work, and just play with, again, drawing the 𝗓 for it. So if you think about a lot of the movements we made, but again, really allow the 𝗓, really allow the body to come to neutral as well. But we'll be just playing with the hands so that you could do, obviously, any of these kind of turning exercises we do around the back or whatever. But just play with the hands connecting into the 𝗓 and just play with a little bit of weight and again contact through the quality of the grip, all those kind of things. And then coming back to neutral every so often. Just playing a little bit with the hands as well, just to activate the hands, forearms, all that kind of area. Good, good. Good. I was going to a little bit of ski work, so we'll just go straight into a 𝗧𝗏𝗀 pattern. Thrusting in, take your time with the rotation. Again, just kind of draw out, just kind of pull forward. So take your time with the rotation, and again, really get the 𝗏𝗡𝗡 as you go this way. But this kind of work now. Just taken obviously more an engaged, deeper position, but that allows us to really find the ground to do it. So find your 𝗏𝗡𝗡𝗏, load it to the body, and release it to the ski. And then you're obviously always now engaged in a pattern now, so there's not really a totally neutral position in this one. The 𝗏𝗡𝗡𝗏 is a little bit neutral, obviously, but it's engaged in the body's where it's going to go. Yeah, good. Oh. And oh. Just play with this one. So what happens a little bit if you go into the rotation? I know this, it depends on how people teach it. What I don't want, just in this case, and what I would do anyway, would be something like the body goes this way to go into this position. Something like this. So I don't want the body in this case to go like over this way and then pull back this way. So in this case, think about the ground here. I'm going to use this leg rather than going this way over. I draw the body this way. So everything in the body goes into this direction. That's the direction I'm going to kind of commit to, and everything goes this way. That's why I really exaggerate that motion. Obviously, just in terms of mobility work, but I don't want the body to kind of go over this way and then pop over this way. This is like boom, boom. In this case, I want the body to go this way, so I just let it go that way. So it means really finding the path to the ground down in this foot, and then let it go this way. It's what we do all the time with like Morihei stuff, but I don't want to go like one way to go another way. I don't want to go forwards to go backwards. I want to go left side to go right side. So it's just, again, it's the ability for the body to go from stillness, go to a direction, and the whole body goes that direction as well. That's it. Wow. And play with this. I know you can do this. There's nothing wrong with it, but play with this not on the spot, because on the spot tends to go to this one and then this one. So if I don't go on the spot and I commit to this direction, the best way to think about this would be like I'm in this position. I just lift this leg and the body falls that direction. If I lift the leg and the body falls, I just join that direction. So I'm basically falling to the feet, right? So, but if you're going to play with this, it would be like this. Don't go over the foot this way. This way. I just basically, I'm in position, and then I just release the foot this way, and then catch the rotation with it. Now, if the body's more in the ground than out of the ground, as I release this foot, and if this foot's in the ground, I'll be able to kind of catch the body in balance. But again, it's a kind of trick in this one, which would be where I move the foot from. Okay, yeah. The body's very easy to confuse, right? What the? So you got think about it. As I ski forward, it's the leg it's the leg forward of the ski that I'm going to kind of release. So I'm going the way of the ski. I ski in, I go the way of the ski, and then I catch the rotation in it this way. Yeah, if you think about the movement you make, Morihiro Saito, we do it all the time. Hopefully, hopefully doing it well. This kind of pattern. But that's the pattern that you do. There's nothing wrong with doing this movement on the spot, obviously. But again, it's where a lot of mobility work or moving the body a lot actually does train good patterns. It can also go the wrong way, but anyway, that's the kind of risk with it. Yeah, that's it. Let's just play with the pattern, which is the Genengaishi. It's a similar kind of problem, but it's going to be the ability to just go back now. So again, I don't want to kind of load and then go back. Just find the ski here and then just think that I'm going to press the body backwards. I'm going to send the Joe back with it this way. Obviously, you've got the new pattern now, which is that kind of roll through instead of right. And then again, you've got this pattern. I'm going to pull back the body. I'm going to go into this pattern here. So there's a few examples of that kind of compression again. This one now is finding the back leg rather than that one. You're going to go this way and this one, this way and this one, and then I chain the drawback of the Joe into that. And then here you've obviously got this big opening of the body here, and then again you've got this. I want the body to kind of draw back, find the foot, find the ground in there. In a very simple way, it's just that when you go forward, the whole body goes forward. As you go back, the whole body goes back. When you spiral, the whole body spirals. It's just, it will be thinking in very, very simplistic terms in that sense, but again, it's just whether I can give the body a direction and it just responds basically. And also the Joe responds as well, because the Joe is, again, just kind of reflecting what you're doing with the body, right? Because it's attached to you. And I think about this as drawing. So I don't. It's obviously the language I use is really important. So if I think about pulling the Joe back, it tends to go to pulling the Joe back, like pulling back this way. So what I think about is drawing the Joe back. So it's more of a draw of the body this way. So it's not that the hands are pulling. That's where pulling tends to go, like bad pulling. It's like this, and drawing is more this. And also drawing has a bit more of a quality where I'm actually like thinking about the tip of the weapon. I think about like a pencil or a paintbrush or something like this, and I'm going to kind of draw and describe the motion with the Joe. But again, it's going to be coming from the body, ability to find the ground, and then going through this way. And then again, the same thing with the Genengaishi will be like drawing the pattern with the Joe. And then I'm just trying to get out of those kind of push-pull patterns, really, and bad push-pull patterns in a sense, using like contractive force of the body. And that's good. You're right. Right. Yeah. Out. H. Out. Shh. Right. Yeah. Good. We're just taking a little bit of sit count. So working with the ski, take your time with it, draw up to the top, draw into the arc, finding that position out, just a slightly different pattern with the ski, Genengaishi there, find it, and then draw back into the mic. And go, draw back. Again, just that issue of kind of back and forwards, give the body a very clear direction. Yeah. 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 And again, I would play with making it big, making those directions big, maybe condense them a bit smaller. As you're going to go into it. There we go. Yeah, main ones that just look for this one, particularly this one. If I'm out of balance here in the foot, I have to kind of do something in the body to readjust to find the next pattern, or just fall backwards stiffly. So really allow yourself here to settle into the ground here, find both feet, so you're still grounding 50-50, and then choose the front foot to go back. So, and then just check your position each time. So the benefit of doing this kind of 𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗨 style, or in a kind of static sense, is really this ability to just find the middle of the posture each time. Yeah, and then choose the foot to go forwards. But again, it's a choice to stay in balance rather than and being pulled in and out of balance all the time. And again, it's just using that pattern now. Just allow yourself to really settle in each time and take as much time as you need in each part of the pattern to really feel the body sunk into the base. Yeah, basically hitting the middle of the base, and then it's just easier to go into, and then the clearer the movement will be also. So hitting the middle of the base will be somewhere there. I can choose to go here, somewhere there. I can choose to go into it. So those ways to train it, but the main thing would be just using the pauses and looking for, again, kind of extra movements that I'm making of the body. It comes as adjustments, it comes as tension, it comes as lots of things, but yeah. And then just go to it's the same basic pattern. It would be more going into this kind of 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗨𝗦, but not in the sense that I'm looking for flexibility, just that I'm looking to basically slow the movements down and look for the point where the body kind of hits the middle and then goes, hits the middle and then goes. So it is 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗨𝗦 training, but not with the emphasis really on flexibility, not really with the emphasis on flexibility, but just this ability of feeling when the body comes into position, and it's about really aligning the stride or the draw, the transitional pattern into that kind of base movement. So it's the same thing you're really doing with 𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗨, but you just have more time in 𝗧𝗏𝗡 obviously to settle and adjust. See if you can go as far into the 𝗓𝗡 as I can really kind of maintain that, in the sense that I'm kind of chaining. And what it means is you probably don't go as far into the 𝗓𝗡. You maybe don't get to the end of the 𝗓𝗓. Eventually, hopefully you do. But it's really about it's about training the rhythms of the body as well, so that the hands and the feet kind of going together. And it's just to also notice whether those rhythms are really out, because it's things like the body's arrived already, and then the hands are pulling. The body's kind of arrived already, and then the hands are cutting. So that's a very bad example of it. But again, it's in those kind of subtle separations of rhythms of the body. That's where I kind of need to really work as well. So, and then if those are in place, the 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗨𝗦 is really possible. The 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗨 is really possible. So, possible well. Like you obviously you can go fast, you can go fluid, but it's just the ability to do it well, really. Yeah. Good. Oh. All right. There we go. Nice. We'll do it. Just play the very simple. It's not quite true all the time, and the rhythms will slightly change depending on the movement. But go to a very basic coordination, which would be as I strike. Isabel's right in front of me. I'm going to strike at that, and I land the body at the same time. So it's a bit of a simplistic way to look at it, but it's true enough more often than not. And it's just a kind of useful coordination one, again, just in terms of the connection with the body and the intention of the body. So I'm gonna ski in, and I'm gonna just land the weight at the same time. So the kind of the pulse of the body and the landing of the weight is the same. Think about if you can do that, you can do it backwards in a kind of softer way. So I'm gonna like arrive at the same time. Yeah, and then as I go to the next one, arrive at the same time. Yeah, and then arrive at the same time. So in a very simple way, it would be that as I arrive in the movement with the body, the 𝗓 also stops. And the 𝗓's either stopping in 𝗏𝗡𝗨𝗏 or it's stopping in terms of the strike. Stopping is the wrong word. It arrives at the same time, basically. Or the movement of the 𝗓 is basically completed at the same time. And yeah, it's a bit of a dangerous one, because I don't really want to get totally stuck here. But in terms of a baseline for coordination, it's a good way to just kind of go into sometimes, because particularly if the arms are like out of sync with the rest of the body, or the arms are starting the movement, or they're delayed a lot, then it's a good one to just kind of fall back on if I kind of feel like the body's really, really like out of rhythm and out of sync, basically. There we go. Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good. And then just play with it. It's a little bit more complex one, a complex way of looking at it. It really comes up with patterns here. It's that the movement of the hands is really governed by the hip work. So if I make a movement with the hip, the hand should move with it this way. That I just play with this just a few, and then we'll go back into the kata. But it would be like I'm just in a kind of kenkamai. It's the easiest position to kind of work with this from. And then I'm not going to do anything with the hands if the hips don't do it. So it can be very subtle and supple, hopefully supple, very subtle. But I want the hips govern the handwork. And in this one, you can do a very simple one. The hands just stick to the center line, and then I just adjust the hips. And you could adjust the hips anyway. But a really obvious one is like this. And the hands don't need to do a thing in that case. So it's again realizing that the arms don't really need to do so much, and they just really need to basically kind of connect out and then go to it. And then when I increase the range of movement with it, or increase the pattern, then it's going to be that the hand and hip start to really work together. And it's a little bit simplistic, but you could think about the left hip and the left hand and the right hip and the right hand. Not true all the time, really not true all the time. And it's a very simplistic way of looking at connection mode. But again, it's a useful one to play with. Again, you could do things like this kind of pattern and just think about kind of spreading the hip, moving the hand. And then it's what you do anyway with these kind of patterns. This. So just play a little bit. It could be in kenkamai, it could be in skikamai. But again, just make a very basic rule for yourself, which is that the hand cannot move on its own. So if the hand's moving on its own, something's wrong. And I've basically isolated the hand from the rest of the body. So play with it a bit. Again, it can be very subtle stuff. But I don't let the hands adjust or move or change without the hip doing something. And so something in that kind of range there. Hey, Ben, thank you very much. Thank you very much. See you soon. That's it. And then just play again. If you go to the Gerengai, is a really good one. It would be really again in this kind of movement, and again in this kind of movement. So as I go, again, it's nothing that the hands are going to do on their own. The hips are going to really guide it. And again, it really is. It's more or less that the hands can kind of stay. Now, I don't want to kind of stick the connection and do this, because this goes back to kind of blocky connection work. But I think there is movement in the elbow, there is movement in the arms, but again, it's not being overridden by the hands and the arms. And again, just a very simple rule, which is like the hands are being governed from the hip work. And it's not that the hips are everything, obviously the spine, the ground connection, the length of the body, the position of the head, all that stuff comes up. But just make it's a very simple one, which is that the hand cannot move on its own. And I just want it to be guided or governed by the hip work here. So again, very a little bit kind of simplistic as well, but one of those that's like true enough more often than not to be kind of very useful, particularly in terms of basic patterning. There we go. Great. And then we'll just take it back into the 6 count, and we'll just spend a few times here, and then we'll just introduce a few more moves into it. So this same thing. So just think about the hands. If the hands are starting to move, there should be a movement in the hips. And actually, just play with the abilities that you could also play with now. So again, it goes really more into the kind of 𝗷𝗢𝗡𝗢 stage, where the lower part of the body is governing the upper part. So it's going to be much more in the sense that the hips roll through the pattern. And then it's not that the arms are delayed, it's just that they're following and listening to the hips. Following and listening to it. So it's the sense that the hips are engaging the arms into the body. Hips are engaging the arms into the body. Hips are engaging and opening. This kind of feeling. So just play with it a little bit. You could do it again as a kind of Kihon pattern, and introduce a little bit of a kind of flexibility to the connection work. And it's what the body really wants to do. And again, if I'm being confused that the arms are doing the thing, then the body gets really pulled out of structure and balance. So I think that it's just trying to find a really natural pathway for the body to work. And it's just things like that weight tends down. and the lower body's more connected to the ground than the upper body, closer connected to the ground. So it's the one that's going to really establish my connection. Again, if I can connect the periphery of the body to the core, and the core actually moves the periphery, then I'm more or less working to a kind of natural principle really of the body. And depending on the move, that's either very complicated or a little bit simpler. Yeah, good. We'll just go to one part. It's just sometimes let's slightly surprise the body as well. So I would go into the ski, this one pulled through this way, and then every so often play with just a thrust back, and then changing, and then going back into it, and then every so often again just draw back into it, then go just this way, and then come through this way. So just play with. You could do this actually at any point in the movement, but play particularly with this one. This one. I know in the old days, and I still come across it. It was that this 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓 was taught as a ski backwards, or it's taught like a ski to the knee or something like this. I still come across it all the time. It's just in terms of the 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓, it's not a ski back. So if I make a ski back, it's going to be the whole body goes back with it this way, and the ski is really going to be completed. So just play it, and you don't want to confuse the body by making the movement back now with thrust, because it's not. It's just a drawback, a preparation for the 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓. And you could unconfuse the body with that by flowing through the 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓. But it's just a flow, like just introducing that 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓 every so often. And again, if I'm in balance and I'm working naturally, I should really be able to make a kind of a change and a shift. And it just goes back to the ability to connect the handwork to the core of the body and the hips, particularly in this case. Nice. Great. There we go. That's it. That's it. Good. Great. Very nice. Oh. Oh. Oh, cute. Good. We'll just change it and just start to bring in a 𝗓𝗓 as well, just to work with again that kind of hip hand connection. So do the same pattern of the thrust in, draw up, strike in this position, and then from this position, just work with the 𝗓𝗓 coming into the back. I'll just play with this pattern, and then we'll go just across the body this way. Thrust in again, draw back, 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓, and then come back to base this way. So the pattern is going to be something like this: thrust in, back, strike, go into the 𝗓𝗓. Don't complete it fully, so just to this point. Drop the 𝗓𝗓 back in, find the 𝗊𝗡, thrust in, pull back, strike, and then come back to neutral this way. So that'll be the pattern kind of work with. If it goes somewhere else, we'll go somewhere else. But there's like thrust in, 2, back, 3, strike, 4, going into the upper part of the 𝗓𝗓, draw the 𝗓𝗓 back in, down, back to 𝗊𝗡, thrust in, draw back, 𝗓𝗓𝗍𝗓, back to the ski pattern this way. So. Yeah, okay, good. Let's just separate that 𝗓𝗓 bit out, because there's a really important part of this, which is again the hands follow the hip work this way. So just separate this bit out, this pattern, and it's if I don't want to go into pulling the joke, because I don't want to kind of do something like this hand shoots forward and do something like this. It's the feeling that the hands are kind of split apart from the body. So it's the feeling of doing this, and then as I do that, I'm just changing the weighting again to the back, and I'm going to use that to pull the 𝗓𝗓 out this way. So it's going to be then the hand falling through this way, and again it's going to be the hip governing the hand. So the weight of the hand is from the hip work behind it, and the weight of the hand comes from the hip work behind it this way. And then think about this position. The other part of this is I should be able to just drop the body straight back into it. So it shouldn't require an adjustment of the body. It should just, yeah. And then I drop into it and then I readjust it. So it's just, again, just simplify that connection. And it's just whether I'm in the correct position or the appropriate position in the hasa already to drop the jo straight back in. We train this also with like things like 𝗓𝗓𝗞𝗘𝗠𝗨𝗦𝗨 with the bokken. Or with the jo either. So like this position, I should really be able to just be in a position where I can drop the jo straight into the pattern without any kind of movement. And this is the same. You're just in a more asymmetrical pattern. So just think about this pattern, and it's going to be the ability to just drop the jo in. And the kind of pattern of that hasa pattern really it reveals whether I'm working arms led first or not, basically. So it's a very clear pattern to kind of discover that as well. It's very obvious whether I'm working the arms first or not. We go, very nice, very nice. So that's yeah, very good, nice. Great. And then just to look at that a bit more in your workout then, again, just sticking to that. So if you want, it would be like just rolling through and then passing through this motion, and then the body's basically locked in this way. Drop it in and then just find your way back in this way. And then if you want, you could just reset and come back into Tenkamai. Roll open through, drop in, let it go back this way. But yeah, the body's really still behind it. So the main thing again with the hasa is not to be pulled up and out, up and down. It will be just to kind of stay within the core of the body and let the jo start to kind of whip around. But the emphasis is also on the kind of percussive quality or the blocking quality as you go through it this way. And I'm basically just trying and chain the body to be fluid, flexible. So this is now just working with a little bit more flow through the pattern now. So, and then we'll just chain that into the kata, the rest of the kata. So think about now really a sense of flow through the pattern this way now. So rolling through, changing, dropping, rolling back this way. And it's one of those that the body's constantly active through it. There's not really a neutral position in this one because all of the movement is functional if it's done well. It's really a very functional pattern, and it's something we would do. Again, if I'm doing Kinonagari work in the taijutsu, every movement needs to have a functional use of it. Otherwise, it's a kind of a go in and out of kind of usefulness, use, or functionality. Nice, great. Again, the timing now is really clear that the hips lead the pattern, or the hips particularly lead the arms. Just watch this. It's if I'm waiting in the pattern, it looks like something like this. So if I wait, then the arms, they just separate the body. So what I want you to do is, as you go, the timing's a bit more subtle now. So it's going to be that as I arrive here with the hips and the body, I start to change the jo. So it's much more a quality of dragging the jo through the pattern. It just makes more clear this kind of patterning of the body. The lower part is governing the upper, and by doing that, the upper part kind of has a sense that it's being dragged through the pattern. It is being dragged through the pattern because I'm not waiting it to kind of stop and arrive, clang, and then we go. Yeah, that's kind of key homework. So play with really now that the quality that the jo's being dragged through the pattern now. And the arms are the same. They're being dragged through the pattern. This is where you get this kind of whip waving kind of quality. And it's exactly the same thing we do with all the swinging work. So that kind of quality is just trying to be embedded now with a kind of functional pattern. And again, just play with it really. But it's really just an issue of timing, and obviously there's details in the grip and all that kind of stuff. That's important, very important. But again, that work's done in the Kihon. And then if I need to, I go back to it. So just borrow this really. Yeah. Keep great. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Good. And then just play a little bit. You could use that pattern. It's a kind of nice one anyway. So like a ski-in. What I would start to play with this one, which would be a little bit more on the spot now. So just kind of containing it a little bit more. So give me a couple of changes. Be like the ski-in. I'm going to go straight into the 𝗓𝗓𝗡𝗓. I'm going to do this change on the spot. This change through. This change through. Find the back, and then go into the pattern this way. I'm skipping out the ski in this case because it's going to add a little bit of a stop in the pattern. So the pattern now is going to be this. It's going to be a ski. It's going to be a 𝗓𝗓𝗡𝗓. It's going to be a hasso rotation through. And then as I go through this pattern, I'm just going to find the back end of the jump, whip the jaw back through this way. It's really, in a sense, just a functional way of looking at it. It's kind of figure of 8 pattern this way. It just starts with a kind of loaded ski, and then that becomes the pattern this way. Rolls the jaw up, flashes through this way. Goes into the 𝗓𝗓𝗡𝗓 this way. And just play with it. See what kind of happens really, but it's just playing with that ability to kind of whip the jaw around the body really. And this is easier obviously if the body's stable and it's kind of on one spot, and then you have a bigger chance to be kind of center grounded, balanced, and then the jaw, the periphery of the body, is going to kind of whip around. And it should be fun as well. It's kind of a nice thing to do. Also exhaustive as well if you do this well. It's quite a good it's quite a good train for the body. I wouldn't do this for a long time. Couldn't do it for a long time. But the same thing as doing like 𝗔𝗜𝗞𝗜𝗘𝗠 as a practice. Do like a very short burst of it. 10 minutes maximum probably. If it's done well, it's done energetically, the body really gets like very, very quickly depleted. That's why you have like rounds in boxing matches. Be totally different if they did like 2 hours of boxing. Imagine. There we go. You lose it. And unless you just kind of as a cool down, just run through it, just go slowly with it, so there's less emphasis on the kind of percussive quality and also the kind of functionality of it. But just think about now really gently just passing the jaw through, and it just goes back again to more of a kind of drawing quality. The same connection works out, and what I'm not doing now is like loosening out the whole body. Nothing really matters in terms of function. Same connection works. I'm still kind of heavy grounded. It's just kind of lighter in terms of the kind of demand out, and it's slower. But I kind of feel that I'm doing this full speed, full power really. But yeah, at the same time, I'm just going to loosen the grip out as well. So just to loosen the grip out, loosen the shoulders, and just to really cool down the body as well, just to get kind of energy level down a little bit as well. But still working within the kind of details of the structure and that kind of alignment and stuff. It's and rhythms of the body that we look at is still kind of being worked as well. And just take it wherever it goes. And then very lastly, just really explore. So go a little bit out of the kata. Just kind of see what comes up really. And it would be just again going back to a very simple one, which would be like the handwork's being governed from the hips. So I would even take it down a really gentle kind of path. It would be just like something like this, just to loosen out the shoulders, maybe a little bit. So it could be like very contained. And more going into a kind of back into a bounce, basically down. Again, just see where it goes. But just start to feel it kind of drawing the body a little bit smaller now in terms of movement. A little bit more subtle in terms of pattern. And just start to slowly work back into a kind of a standard, normal feet together. And then just play with a little bit of a bounce out. Once you get to that position, just play with a little bit of a bounce out, just to release the shoulders. Again, you could play a little bit with the handwork. But again, just feel that the whole body's more connected, more chained together than it can be. And then very last one, just go into a roll down very slowly. Take it as far as comfortable. So just go down. Get no pain. If you feel any pain sensation, don't go into it. Just take it. And once you get to a kind of comfortable position, just start to release a little bit. Take a couple of big deep breaths into the back. If it feels okay, just very slightly shake out the shoulders and the head in the neck. Just to roll them a little bit, wave them. Feel the whole body kind of responds as well, so the knees stay free. Let feet receive the motion. And in the same way you came into it, just fold up slowly. Might be bending the knees a little bit more, curling the spine a little bit more. Just pull up into neutral. And just let the shoulders relax at the top of it. Good. We will power up. Great. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
All right. Lovely. Thank you very much. Here we go.
Thank you.